recording. Okay. All right. Some students have conflicted schedules today, so I think everyone's here. So we are ready. I was talking about your exam in the last week. A lot of students had a very busy schedule, the busy days in the last week. Many exams and projects and something like that. How was your exam? So our exam was okay? All right. Yeah, I don't have any problem with your performance. Actually, you did a great job in your exams. Okay? So I just want to make sure. That the level of difficulty in the exams. Okay? At this point, I'm pretty sure that you are manageable with this exam. So for the next exam, the last exam probably, okay, before your graduation. Ooh, it's nice. Okay? So the next exam will be a little bit higher. We raise the bar a little bit higher, but it will be still manageable. So I'm not worried about that. Okay? So, all right. So today we'll have presentations, right? Presentations. So we're gonna talk about your practice round. Practice round 1. So we did already, but this is only one round. So we didn't have enough time to see what's going on your performance in the simulations. Okay? But at this time, I just want to make sure everyone is in the same page, and then we can move together. Okay? All right. Let's talk about that. Now, before we talk about simulations, I just want to make sure your schedules, right? Schedule. So presentation 2. Okay? Today is a presentation 2, right? Yeah. So we are going to talk about what you did in the simulations, how the performance was. Okay? And then next time, this is practice round 2. Okay, capsule simulation practice round 2. So Wednesday is the off day, right? Break day. So March 15th, your practice round 2 is March 15. Okay? And then we're gonna continue 3 more chapters. Okay? 3 chapters. Chapter 7, International Strategy, March 17th. Okay? So then 3 more chapters. Then we are gonna do the exam simulations and something like that. Then the rest of the semester we focus on the simulations, only simulations. Okay? So we are gonna maximize what you run, okay, from the simulations. Okay? This schedule is exactly the same as the one, okay, on the your syllabus. Okay? So we are doing good. We're doing good. Okay. All right. So any question, comment before we starting? No. Then please make sure if you are ready to start the simulations. Please say yes. Okay, great. All right, so which team? I don't have any specific request. Okay, so which team wanna go first? My team. Okay, what's your team, Olivia? Okay, so Olivia, what's your team? Team name? Or
we're team 4.
Team 4, Digby. Okay. So team 4, Digby. Digby will go first. And who's the second? Megan, what is your team name? Megan, probably you are team Baldwin. And team 3 is team Chester. Then team 4 and Digby. No. Oh, Megan. Okay, team 2. Right. Baldwin. So Chester And how about team, what's that? Andrew and Uri. Okay, you can think of it. All right. So, team Digby, one of the first. Actually, in terms of your performance, actually, based on the first round, I don't have any specific comment yet. Okay, because actually, all the teams, okay, make all the teams had the same start line, and then your decisions not so what's that? At this point, there are not a big difference in your decisions, in your performance. So I don't have a specific comments yet, but I'm gonna see your presentations. Then we can talk. Okay.
Yeah. So we realized that for round one, we didn't know there was a submit button. We did make certain decisions and we didn't know there was a submit button to submit to you.
Okay.
So you weren't able to see those.
All
So
right.
it kind of messed up what we're gonna do for round two, but I guess since it's practice, it's okay.
All right. So Olivia, are you gonna use the PowerPoint? What?
Yeah, we have a PowerPoint.
Okay. Then Olivia, you will be the presenter, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now you are the presenter. Please upload your PowerPoint and then please start your presentations. We can talk.
Can everyone see it?
Yes, I see.
Okay. So we're talking about cost leadership and our strategy for um this was to keep the cost of products relatively high and for our promotional and sales budget, we want to keep them high as well at the beginning. And then we want to increase accounts receivable each round. So for round one, what we did was put accounts receivable at 35 days, and then each round we're going to increase the amount of days. And then we're going to pay close attention to automation rating for each product because it has a lot to do with decreasing the cost of material and labor. And then where we want to borrow the least amount of money as we can, and then we want to avoid issuing any stock.
Okay, so for the high product price, so since our product is new to the market, the price will change how people perceive our product. So if our product gets value to customers, then a high price will increase the perceived quality of our product and customers will be more invested in getting results. Higher prices will help us to increase revenue faster and not to have to borrow as much money, which would be good because we don't rack up that long-term debt or short-term debt, and then it will help cover the cost of production and still make a profit, which we are looking to get as a business. So high promotion and sales budget, a high promo budget will drive awareness and will persuade the customers to look at our product. The sales budget will drive accessibility, which covers everything during and after a sale. We are hoping to maximize utilization of resources and forecast sales. Although a higher amount of money will be put towards our promotion and sales budget, it will not only increase awareness and accessibility, but also the revenue we generate from it will cover the cost of production. We want to do this because if they are aware of our product and it helps us keep within the budget, then we'll make more money and won't have to spend so much money on marketing later on if already people know what they're looking at.
Increase accounts receivable. Accounts receivable days is the number of days that a customer invoice is outstanding before it is collected. Each round, we plan to increase accounts receivable starting with 35 days to eventually 40 to 60 towards our last couple of rounds. Accounts receivable will create demand. At the beginning, less days, 35 days, will give us the amount we need to make money. We will use the money we make to cover costs and expand the company and make more products and create us more customers. A larger customer base will allow us to increase the number of accounts receivable days. Over time, it will give us more and more demand for our product.
Sorry. So for automation rating, the numbers we put for automation rating will significantly affect our material and labor costs later down the road. As automation levels increase, the number of labor hours required to produce each unit falls. We will keep automation rating low at the beginning because we need a lot more workers to be able to produce a lot of new products fast. Once we have more customers and our new products are made, we will increase automation levels to decrease the number of labor hours and have lower costs for material and labor. Sorry, my PowerPoint is kind of slow. And then we will we want to avoid borrowing money and issuing stock, because if we do, then it will make stock more available and lower our stock value. Although issuing stock can raise capital, we will begin to lose ownership of the company as more shares are sold. We want to avoid borrowing money because we do not have to worry about paying back that later down the road. The only round we want to borrow money is round 1 because we have to borrow it to get our company up and running.
And why some startup companies do fail is they price their products too low because they think it's going to increase the demand of the product. And they either have too low of a promotion and sales budget, or they'll inversely have too high of a promotion and sales budget for too long because the business can't sustain having that cost that high. And their accounts receivable days are too low and they'll never increase over time. And their automation rating number is also too low. And as Olivia just said earlier, with the automation rating, when it is really low, then your cost for material and labor really skyrocket, stay high just to produce the products. And sometimes the companies will also issue too much stock or borrow too much money or more money than it can handle or pay back. And the competitive advantage of our strategy, the strategy will give our company the efficiency, size, scale, and scope that it needs to drive down the cost of our operation and be able to give our company a competitive advantage in that way.
All right, that's it. Any question, comment? All right, so actually your team Digby, is focusing on the department level, the functional level of strategies. Okay, each decisions in the department level is functional level. Okay? But think about that. What is your strategy? Okay? So basically, we talk about talk about the 2 generic strategies, right? Reduce cost and increase product differentiations. Reduce cost means cost leadership strategy and product differentiation strategy. 2 strategies. What was it? Digby?
We over time we want to reduce costs, but
All right, cost leadership strategy. You choose the cost leadership strategy. Why?
We choose to we want to reduce reduce costs over time, and so we don't have to spend as much money on production, so we can lower the cost of the product. Because the more money we spend on the production cost, then the more expensive we're going to have to make the product.
Okay, all right. So I just want to make this point, okay, at this point, because you are in the same line, okay, you're gonna start this game. Okay, so think about that. Your strategy should be based on the market, right? Not your cost, your production cost. So your market, you need to see your market. Your market is what? In the simulations, your market is the perceptual map, okay? Two aspects, size and performance of your products. Okay? Then in this area, you choose your market, okay? You choose your market, okay? Based on this choice, based on these decisions, if you focus on the low-tech market, your strategy should be what? Cost leadership strategy, right? It is related. Okay? If you choose high-tech market, it should be product differentiation strategy. Then your departmental, your functional level strategy will follow this big decisions. Okay. Then how to choose this market? How to choose this market? It is based on the information available in the simulations. Most time you should see customers, what they want. So basically, your job is looking for the information what the simulation provides about the customer. Then you choose the market, what market you will get into. Based on these decisions, you should make consistent and following decisions in the level of the functional level. All right, this is the basic flow of your decisions. Okay, so I just want to clarify this for everyone at this point. Okay, go ahead, Jay.
But in while we're trying to product differentiate, and as we continue to grow in this specific like simulation, at what point do we start going, okay, our costs are starting to get above our like planning? So at some point, don't we have to eventually start looking at costs? Or are you saying just with this specific simulation, we need to pay more attention to product differentiation?
Okay, you can start either way. Okay, you can start either way. You can start from the cost leadership strategy. You can start low tech from the low tech. You can start from the high tech. Okay, but it depends on the dynamics of market. So this is only one practice round, one round. Okay, so actually you will see the dynamics in the market. Some things move this way, some things are moved that way, and then based on this movement, you need to find this market is, this market is very crowded. Then you can avoid this market, and then you can find a niche market, something like that.
Gotcha.
This is a process. This is not static. Okay, so that's why you need to have always focus on the information provided by the simulations from the market. So when you decide the market, then you can make some following decisions. Okay, finance, productions, or whatever. Okay, so big decision, strategy first, then departmental decisions. This is the flow of decisions. Okay, so I just want to make sure, I just want to make clear at this point for everyone, not just this team. Okay, and do we need to fill out a quiz? Okay. No. All right. Yes, if the quiz is helpful for you, then you can try, but it's not. Okay, we just focus on the game. Okay. All right. So at this point, I want you to have good sense about how to play this game. Actually, this game is what is that? It's composed of many logics behind all the concepts. Okay. All right. So we're gonna talk a little bit more. All right. So this be good. And any question, comment? Okay. The next is Tim Baldwin. Please share your strategy with us. Tim Baldwin.
Yeah,
Adam?
can you let me share my screen?
Good. So now you're the presenter.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Heaven, whenever you're ready.
All right, so just to start us off, just to specify of our group, I've got Adam, Megan, Maggie, and Emily, plus myself. Hope you are having a fantastic Monday. I'm going to now turn it over to Adam with his portion.
All right. So for our practice round, we wanted to put our two strategies to the test, and we decided that we wanted to differ our products by targeting a specific market. So by targeting a specific market, our follow-up strategy was that we wanted to maximize our sales in that said market by doing a variety of things that is later mentioned in our presentation. So our main strategies was product differentiation and profit maximization. So prior to effectively going through our practice round, we decided to experiment by targeting one market segment. So based off our results, we wanted to enter the high tech market rather than dividing our products into both the lower and the higher end market segments. So our data clearly showed that we had a 0% share in the lower end, but a 29.42% in our higher end segment. So based off our results, we want to show uniqueness and quality in our products rather than having just the quantity in our products. So we believe that focusing our assets into one market share eventually led us on how we wanted to maximize our profits.
All right, hold on, please. Please, yeah, the high-end market, okay? So product differentiation means, okay, you increase your product, better product. So that's why this team choose high-end market. So it's consistent, right? Product differentiation strategy, high-tech market. And also, look at the quality over quantity, right? Better product. You focus on better product rather than reducing cost. So actually, this team just choose product differentiation strategy and make very consistent conceptual understanding about this strategy. Good, great. Go ahead.
All right.
So the next step we took was to maximize our profits. And instead of trying to maximize our sales, we actually focused on the profits, which is going to be your sales minus all of your expenses. And our goal was to minimize our costs while also maximizing sales as opposed to just focusing on our sales. And this allows us to have a higher EPS, which is earnings per share, which will help increase dividends and help increase actual cash flow into us. And this will allow for more research and development later on for us to work on our product differentiation and maybe even focusing on the high-end market, but maybe entering the low-end tech market when we get a chance to.
Okay, great, good.
So yeah, this is just the comparison of like our sales and our variable costs as well.
Okay.
So there were obviously several reasons why our two strategies were successful. And to go back on what Megan had talked about, our goal was to minimize the cost and maximize the sales revenue, because when we're doing that, we're able to have higher profits. And by doing that, we also hit the sweet spot with our sales price. So we played a lot around with our sales price to see which one would give us that higher profit. And so we picked one that minimized our cost and maximized the revenue that people were still willing to pay enough money for to get that product. And to go back on what Adam said, picking that one market segment allowed us to specialize more in that market instead of being all over the place.
Okay, good. All right.
And then this just kind of shows like our comparison to all the other groups. And you can see that obviously our sales are much lower than everyone else's, but our costs are definitely a lot lower too. And that is what allowed us to be successful this round, was focusing on keeping the costs low, even though our sales aren't as high as everyone else.
Okay. Great.
And I think that's it.
All right, good. Very concise, very informative. Okay. And this team's presentation is just focused on, the big decisions, strategy. Okay. Your decisions. Okay? So which market will, you will focus on. Okay? Then based on these decisions, you make the following decisions, departmental level decisions. Okay, functional level decisions. This is the flow of decisions in this game. Okay, how to use strategic management framework into your decisions. Okay? So if you don't have a big decisions first, okay? Big direction of your actions. If you don't have it, you cannot make following decisions, developmental decisions. Okay, you should keep in mind. Okay, good. Oh, I just mentioned that the evaluation of your simulations. Okay? So I forgot this, but you can visit Canvas. Okay? Then you can evaluate teams' presentations, including your teams. Okay, actually we do same things as we did. Okay? So you can visit Canvas. There is a survey BUS499B presentation 2. Okay, so you can evaluate. Okay, teams presentations here. Okay, I just want to point out that. Okay, good. Okay, all right. Any question, comments? So actually, Team Baldwin is focusing on the product differentiation strategy, but it can be changing. Right? It can be changing. The market is always dynamic. Okay? Market is always dynamic. So think about that. Team Baldwin, okay, just keep going with the product differentiation strategy. Then they just realize that, oh, this market is too crowded. Too many teams. Many teams just focus on the same market. Then what are they going to do? They just find a new market. Okay, right? So this is a dynamic. Okay? So G-Health actually point out this too. Okay? So market is dynamic. So you should always be consistent with the change of the market. Okay? You should monitor it. Okay? Then you need to find a niche market. Okay? You need to find a niche market. This is focus strategy. Okay? Right. But you should keep in mind too, it takes a little time to realize your strategy. If you have product differentiation strategy, then your performance will be realized probably 2 years or 3 years later based on your strategy. Okay? Not just immediately. So you should balance this. Okay. All right. Good. And who is next? Chester? Team Chester?
Yes, sir. I would like to present.
Okay. So Brooks, you are the presenter.
Sir. Oh, okay. So let's see here.
All right, take your time.
Oh yeah, here we go. Share my screen. Let's share this one. All right.
So next will be Team Andrew or Team Ari. Please let me know who will be, the next. Andrew or Ari.
All right, so yeah, we're Team Chester. It consists of myself, Brooks, James, and Trinity. Go ahead and hit the slide, Brooks. Yeah. So here's a bit of our numbers. The team before us actually showed a good bit of priority numbers. So our net profit was $4,219. Our sales were good. Our costs were pretty high. Pretty much at the beginning of the practice round 1, we just wanted to get familiar with the game, see how it would go. We knew the market was going to change, so we just wanted to be able to get familiar with it. We didn't really invest too heavily. We wanted to keep kind of cash on hand. Go ahead and go to the next slide, Brooks. Yeah, here's some of our overall goals. So we wanted to maintain a cost leadership strategy with broad differentiation. We wanted to discover customer demands and act on them. So different markets have different things that are important to them. So the low tech is really sensitive to price changes, and the high tech is really sensitive to R&D changes. So we wanted to figure out where we were going to go for that. We also wanted to lower costs and prices as much as possible and maintain safe points. So we wanted to lower costs and really figure out what prices would be good, because we think we want to go to the high tech market. So lowering costs is always great, but also the prices are not as important to the high tech market as it is to the low tech market. So we wanted to see where we can push the price without having any major without any major changes in customers leaving us. We also want to invest profits heavily back into our business, especially at the beginning, investing highly in automation and into R&D because we want to go into the high tech market. We also want to grow new product capital and improve our ROE. Our ROE is actually pretty low this round, so that's a specific goal for us to want to try and improve. And we want to learn. You know, we recognize that the market changes a lot, so we want to learn as it goes on. So that way, whenever the real rounds that count come in, we'll be able to adjust and adapt because I think that's super important.
Sure, that is very important.
So for our research and development sector, we wanted to determine our customer wants first and foremost before we make any product. And so that's going to be a combination of their expectations and also, you know, the importance of those expectations to them. And then we can come up with a good product to market. And we'd also like to calculate our ideal positions for performance size and MTBF by looking at those wants and garnering data from that. And then when we have like tough decisions between what we need to do next, we want to look back to our perceptual map. I think it's a good base so that we can stay on topic in our game that we want to be in. And then we want to deploy new products, but we also want to be careful about how we introduce those to the market. We don't want to introduce too many at a time or anything like that. And we'll learn more about that in the production part of our slides.
Okay.
I see how that works.
I wanna make your tough decisions a little bit easier. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there is the information about customer survey, right? Customer survey, customer preference. Okay? So if you are looking at that information in details in the simulations, you will find it. Okay. There is information about customer preference. Okay. So if you have a good information about customer preference, customer survey, it will help a lot to determine your position of product, right?
Yes, sir. So we'd be looking, I guess, in the courier mostly to see where our share in the market is and everything like that.
Yes. So at this point, you just practice round 1 and 2. So at this point, you focus on finding some information from the simulations, which will be available for your future decisions. It will be very, very important.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, so one thing that is really important, like Dr. Kong just mentioned, is pricing, and especially pricing in terms of customer preferences. So one thing we want to be really mindful of is pricing our products within a reasonable range that resonates with the target customer's budget and with their preferences, because if we were to go outside of that, then our product wouldn't perform as well as we would like. We also plan to forecast our worst case unit sales based on the current market conditions, because doing that will allow us to account for what's the worst case scenario, and hopefully we can perform better than that. But that just gives us a great baseline number to go off of whenever it comes to marketing. We also hope to decrease variable costs as much as possible, and especially in the long run. And we understand that doing this at the beginning might be more difficult, but as the as the simulation continues, we hope that we can decrease our variable costs. And we also plan to not neglect promotional and sales budgets, because if we were to do that, then our product wouldn't have enough awareness and everything else could be great and in place. But if we neglect that, then our product isn't going to do as well in the market because people won't know about it.
Sure, it's a good point. It's a good point. So your team actually decide, the cost leadership strategy. That means you have to reduce cost. Okay, then you think about how. Actually, we talk about this very clearly with the chapter 5, I guess. Okay? So it's very simple. Just economies of scale. We talked about that. If you want to reduce cost, then economies of scale will be very important. It has important implications, right? So you produce more, then you can reduce your fixed cost. Okay? Probably you can reduce variable cost too. Okay? This is how these concepts we talked about during the class will be related with your decisions in the simulations. Okay? So if you focus on the cost leadership strategy, you should utilize your resources all the way possible ways, okay, as much as possible. Okay, you don't need to keep it up. You don't need to keep it. Okay, so you use, your resources as much as possible. Okay? Then you can accomplish. You can realize the economies of scale. Okay, it makes sense.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Oh, my comments at this point are not just, specific team, for everyone, okay? So you just think of my comments to apply in your team, your decisions, okay? Go ahead.
So with the high tech market, we realized that we were going to have to invest heavily in R&D because that's what's important to stay relevant in the high tech. So in order to do that, we need to have cash on hand in order to invest. So what we're going to do is we wanted to be in the high tech market and we wanted to do product differentiation, but we needed money in order to fund our product differentiation. So in order to do that, we need to reduce material and labor costs. This is going to have us invest into especially automation and production and capacity. So the more that we can produce and the cheaper we can produce it, the more profit and money we'll be able to throw into R&D in order to stay ahead of the game in the high tech market. So hopefully what we can do is invest heavily with this new profit, and hopefully if we can start early in investing in automation and things like that, then we'll have more profit as the game continues in order to keep reinvesting that profit back into our product.
All right, good.
All right, so with the finance side, that's we like to do that last to make sure that we have the correct amount of money to do all this stuff with the automation. And really, we kind of played it conservative on this first round. We weren't quite sure what we were doing too much, but now we've learned. I think we want to increase our financial leverage on the next one and obtain more debt. We also see a potential for increased ROE. That was kind of low on the first round. And we plan to try to increase that by getting more debt. And then we also hope to stay mindful of our cash management. We realize that we don't want to have to start, paying fees or having to take out an emergency loan. So we're going to make sure that we can stay as close as we can without going over on the cash side. And we also hope to use long-term debt to maintain our cost leadership. With the short-term debt, it's going to have more interest. So we're hoping to use the long-term.
Okay. In terms of finance decisions, there are alternative forms of financing, right? Long-term debt, short-term debt, and issuing stocks. And the decision maker in finance field should know which option is the least expensive, right? Okay, the cost of the financing. So you need to think about that. In this game, in this setting, emergency loan is very, very, very expensive. very, very expensive. You should avoid emergency loan. Okay, emergency loan is interpreted in this game. It's like a default. Okay, so you don't have enough financial resources, then you will automatically use emergency loan. So it's like a heavily penalized. Okay, it's not good. It's not good. So please avoid the emergency loan as much as you can. Okay, that's it.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you guys for viewing our presentation.
All right. Thank you so much. Any question, comment? So we are sharing information about strategy. It's good. It's good. All right. It's good. So at this point, I just make it clear. Okay? So this presentation is for everyone. All right. Every team, not just specific teams. Okay. So my comments right now, my comments are for everyone. Okay. Very, very general comments, not team specific. Probably in the next presentations, okay, after we do some more practice, some more rounds, my comments will be a little bit specific, but not this point. Okay, so at this point we are trying to familiar with the game. Okay, we are trying to the flow of decisions. Okay, in the strategy management. So very simple. We talk about business level strategy, how to compete, right? Reduce cost, product differentiation, reduce cost leadership, okay? Increase product differentiation strategy. Which strategy you will choose? Okay, so cost leadership strategy, you will choose what? What market? Low tech. Okay, leadership, the product differentiation strategy, what market you will choose? High end market. Then your departmental decisions, your functional level decisions will follow these big decisions. This is a framework. You make decisions with this simulation. You practice with these simulations. Okay, so we've done the Chester. So no question, right? So now we have Team Andrew. Okay? Team Andrew, please start as soon as you are ready. So let's see, you will be present, right?
Yes, sir. Can you see my screen?
Not yet. Yes, I see. Not now.
No?
No.
Now?
It's working.
Okay.
I see it.
So first of all, I just want to say that our presentation is a little bit different than everyone else because we thought we were supposed to present on the strategy that we chose and like in general, like explain it to the class and then use examples of current firms in the industry that do it well and do it poorly. So that's what we did.
So yeah, like she just said, we kind of were a little confused, but this is the strategy that we have decided to use with our simulation. So yeah, our group is myself, Zion, Hallie, and Lacey, and Morgan. And so next slide.
Okay.
So we chose the broadcast leadership strategy. So the overview of what what it is it. The main aim is to maintain a presence in more than one market segment, not just solely sticking to one. So it gains competitive advantage by keeping R&D, production, and material costs all at a minimum, enabling lower prices, and the lower prices will have a solid value in that.
Okay, so how firms are successful in using this strategy? There's actually two main ways that we found that they do achieve success, and it's by increasing profits and reducing costs and charging industry average prices. So that stays It looks good to people, like customers that are sensitive to prices. And then the other way is increasing market share through charging lower prices while still making a reasonable profit on each sale because you've reduced the cost. So that also targets customers that are sensitive to price. But in general, most firms try to obtain good profit margins on sales. They try to be a low-cost producer in every segment of the market. They try to keep prices low for price-sensitive customers, like I said, and then create maximum awareness and brand equity by promoting and then new innovations and new technologies. They try to stay up to date with that. And an example of that would be IKEA stores, and I think Lacey's going to tell you a little bit about how they were successful.
Okay.
Yeah, so a great example of a successful firm that uses broad cost leader strategy is IKEA. IKEA is able to keep their prices low while also offering stylish furniture. The ways that they keep their prices low is through providing a basic level of service, both like in store and all the way through like actually putting the product together at home. So they have a design of flat packaging, which customers buy things that are already flat packaged, and they have to put it together once they get home. Whereas like competitors, like furniture stores, sometimes will include delivery and already assembled products included in the price, but you're paying more. Whereas IKEA offers lower prices but does not offer these services. Do not know why the slide wouldn't move.
That being said, I can see next slide. Now, there's also several reasons why firms fail in their use of this strategy. For those who like to use broad cost leader strategy, like they like to reuse and reposition products versus creating an actual new product prototype for the market. They choose not to spend money on promotion and sales, and then investments are usually made with stock issues / debt for the company for financement. And while this might seem great costs, like in theory, cost-wise, these do lead to complacency in the market and can allow a company to fall behind in a specific industry. An example of this that I found was Blockbuster. Rather than creating a new product, they relied on previous sales experience and financed their shortcomings with debt, which led to complacency and a sad ending of a formerly successful company. I know that most of us are in an age range where we remember what it was like to go to Blockbuster on Friday nights and whatnot. And looking at this 13 years later, that's no longer the case. And the goal that we have for our firm is to continue to cut costs, but also figure out a way not to also cut the quality as well.
Okay. All right. All right, so actually this team used some examples of to present their strategy. So basically, Team Andrew, you are gonna focus on the broad cost leadership strategy, right?
Yes.
All right, so think about at this point, cost leadership strategy is good. It's good. Right? It is much easier to implement that strategy compared with the product differentiation strategy. Okay. So it's a good start point, all right? There's no problem. But based on the presentations previously done by other teams, okay, I just recognize that most teams will focus on the cost leadership strategy in this game, all right? So we had, 4 teams presented, then most teams focus on cost leadership strategy. That means your market will be very, very crowded, okay? So for everyone, not just your team, all right? So low-tech market, because most teams focus on the cost leadership strategy, low-tech market will be very crowded, okay? In this setting, that means using Porter's 5 forces model, rivalry is very high, then your profit level is low, right? Okay, so based on the information provided by this, the presentations, you need to think about that, right? You need to think about that. Which market will be perfect for you, best for you, okay? So basically, for the initial point, you thought about low-end market, but most teams will focus on low-end markets. Then what I'm gonna do? Okay, you need to think about that. This is the dynamics of the market. Dynamics of market. Okay? So you need to see how the market is changing. Okay, the level of competition. Then you should dynamically determine your target markets. Okay, this is a focus strategy. You need to find a niche market, then you can make decisions in following. Okay, so good. So, all right, then any question, comment about Team Andrew? All right, so we don't. We have one more team, right? Team Ari. So who is gonna be presenter? Team Ari, please let me know. Patrick. So you are the presenter, Pat. It's very interesting. Okay. So,
alrighty then.
all right, and differentiation strategy.
So this is our simulation strategy. So our strategy is kind of have a presence in the high tech and the low tech industries. Not as many people kind of invest in the high tech, and it's kind of a higher risk, higher reward kind of thing. So one of our strategies of gaining an advantage or a competitive advantage is kind of have great design, high awareness and easy accessibility to our products. So it's not super complicated or anything like that in order to buy our products. So our goal is to have new products consistently coming out that are targeting the high end. As our products kind of get outdated and kind of like fall off, I guess you could say, we'll take the low tech segment and we'll discontinue it and start favoring and adding as many products as we can into the high tech. So we plan to market our product effectively so that we have a high level of brand awareness.
And yeah, for the research and development, we're going to keep our existing product line that was given to us and then produce at least one more line for this round. The goal is, though, to have at least 2 products in each segment. And like you said before, we'll be targeting mainly the high-end products. And as time goes on, those high-end products will eventually trickle down into the low-tech area. And then obviously we want to offer the best products for our customers and staying focused on the ideal criteria with positioning, age, and reliability. And production, every year we'll be putting maximal efforts into training our employees. This will help to reduce the turnover costs and result in higher performance in production efforts. We'll also devote a portion of the financial resources to continue attracting top talent in an effort to increase our company's intellectual capital. This will help with efficiency in producing all our products. This approach will allow new technology to be researched and developed at a much quicker rate. And for financing, our initial plan is to raise funds by issuing common stock to investors in the early years. And hopefully using these funds, we can invest into the research and development, differentiate our company's products, and provide additional support to the other departments such as marketing and HR.
Yeah, so our biggest thing with this is we decided not to take out a bank loan and just kind of distribute out and sell the our stock that we had. So we weren't in debt and had to pay that back throughout each round.
And in marketing, when the new products are introduced, we will focus heavy on marketing efforts towards the respective target market. Doing so will allow us a foothold in competition as we gain a higher status in the mind of the consumer.
And that will do it.
All right, so we have a new strategy here. Okay, product differentiation strategy. For Team Ari, we focus on product differentiation strategy. So Based on the presentations, I just recognize that most firms will focus on cost leadership strategy, okay? And we will focus on the product differentiation strategy. So basically, this presentation has very clear purpose. Okay? So now market is changing. We shared some informations. Okay, so we have some impressions about the market. Okay, so what other teams are doing, what I am doing, something like that. So in action between this, market will be changing a dynamic. Okay, all right. So most teams focus on the cost leadership strategy at this point, but we don't know future market. Okay, so they will change their strategy. Okay, this is dynamics of the market. Okay, good. Okay, based on your presentations, okay, my impression is that some teams are very good at understanding the mechanics of this game. Some teams are improving. Okay, some teams are following. So it's good. All right. So I'm not worried about anything at this point. Based on your performance, okay, I don't have any problem. And now, okay. So basically, next presentations, okay, after some rounds, we can be a little bit more specific about your strategy and performance. Okay? And my comments will be specific to more details. But at this point, I just want to make it clear. Okay, how to play this game is a very simple game. Okay, so you need to find some information to help you determine your big decisions. What are your big decisions? Your strategy. Okay, cost leadership or product differentiations. If you choose cost leadership strategy, you should focus on what market? Low-end market. Product differentiation strategy, you should focus on high-end market. Okay, better product. Okay. Based on these decisions, okay, you need to make the following decisions: departmental or functional level strategy. Okay, R&D, production, HR, something like that. Okay. So big decision first and the following decisions. This is how you make decisions in the framework of strategy management. Okay, so you want to practice this flow of decisions with these simulations. Okay, very good, perfect. Okay, I'm not worried about anything at this point. So we have a good start. Okay. All right, so we've done all the 5 teams presentations. We share some information, but keep in mind, okay, your team actually present their strategy, but this strategy will be changing, okay, not static. Okay, so all right, it's done. We're done. So the next meeting will be next Wednesday is break day, right? Next Wednesday is a spring break. What? Right. So I'm gonna see you on next Monday, I guess. Okay? I'm gonna see you next Monday. Okay? So we're gonna continue. Practice round 2. All right. So I will see you. If you don't have a question, comment. Any question, comment? No? Okay. If you don't have any question, comment. I'm gonna see you on next Monday. All right. You did a great job today. Okay? Good presentations. All right. Thank you. See you next Monday.